Hey guys, I'm Jen. I'm a reseller on Poshmark, and today I'm going over my spreadsheet from 2022 and just going over all the numbers and all the details. And I've found some interesting things. So I'm going to go over my sales, my profit, and then just some random stats, like what state I sold the most items in, what day of the week was the best for sales. There's some really interesting things here. So if you're selling on Poshmark, I definitely recommend a spreadsheet, like 100%. So I actually found a notebook back from when I very first started selling on Poshmark. And this is just so funny to me, but I love it. And I think I might keep it. When I made my very first sale, I started just keeping track on paper my expenses and my sales. Obviously, I very quickly realized that this was not going to work and I had to have a spreadsheet. So this is kind of embarrassing. My handwriting is terrible. But so this was my Poshmark sales. So I have my, what is that? My shipping bags. I didn't even know they were called poly mailers then, but I bought some poly mailers and then I sold some Guess jeans, some Danskin pants, and a sweater. And after that, I realized this is not gonna work out. And then I was also keeping track of, so those were just things that were in my closet. I was also keeping track of things that I sold from the outlet. So Goodwill outlet, this is how much I spent. So from that trip, I sold 2 things. I mean, this might work for, as you can see, a little while, but get a spreadsheet. I'm using just a free spreadsheet. I actually found it online from a girl that used to sell on Poshmark. Unfortunately, she stopped selling on Poshmark and now she makes like anti-MLM videos, but she used to make a ton of Poshmark videos. Her name is Hannah Alonzo, but her last name changed, so that might not be anymore. But she had just a, she probably still has the videos up, but she had a free spreadsheet that she shared on Google Docs. I believe it's still there. I don't know if you can find it. And I did kind of edit it a little bit because there were some other things I wanted to add in mine that she didn't have. It's a really great spreadsheet, but you could definitely make your own easily and then just keep track of whatever you want to keep track of. So if you just want to do like your earnings, your profit, whatever. And that's actually how I keep track of my inventory too. So all of my inventory gets a number. I put that in my spreadsheet, and when I sell it, then I copy and paste it into my like items that have sold. So anyway, there's tons of ways you can do it, but the point is I recommend a spreadsheet if you're going to be doing this long term, because this isn't going to cut it. Okay, so 2022 in review, and I love that that rhymes. So keep in mind, I do this part-time. I have a full-time job. I do this very part-time, mostly as a hobby. I mean, I do feel like I spend a lot of time on it, but still very part-time. So of course my numbers aren't going to be like crazy or anything. So my earnings for 2022 was $4,015.20. And then my profit was $3,693.45. And then after that, that was just for my profit after the cost of goods. There were other expenses after that. And I make sure to keep track of all that in my spreadsheet for tax time. But I mean, anything from like my distilled water for my steamer, my stickers, my tape, poly mailers, you know, anything like that. So total, I sold 302 items. And then we're gonna get into some brands. I typically don't sell like a lot of high-end brands. Sometimes I do get lucky at the Goodwill outlet. All right, so my most sold brands. This really surprised me. My most sold brand was Columbia. I sold 13 Columbia items. And this is a really cool thing about the spreadsheet because you can find out all of this information. By the way, I use Google Sheets for my spreadsheet, but there's also like Excel and other things. Okay, so most sold brand Columbia, and then second most sold brand was actually tied between Nike and American Eagle. So I sold 11 items of each brand. And then third, I sold Victoria's Secret, and it was tied with handmade items. So sometimes I'll make like macrame things, like macrame keychains. So that was tied for 7 items. And then I just thought this one was fun. My most sold, I'm struggling to say that. My most sold color was black. I probably could have guessed that. I sold 46 black items. And that wasn't just like plain black, that was just like anytime I'd put black in my spreadsheet. So like either plain black or black and white or black, you know, and whatever. All right, my most sold size, which I probably could have guessed this, was a size large. I sold 51 large items. And my second most sold, what? Second most sold size in second was medium with 50 items. Third was small, 42 items. And then fourth was extra large with 19 items. But it does seem like large items sell the most. Also, I'm a size large, and so whenever I get tired of something in my closet, I sell it. So maybe that has something to do with it. I just typically have a lot of large items. I'm not sure. My average price paid for my inventory was $1.07, which is incredible. But that's because I source most of my items at the Goodwill outlet, and things come out to, you know, 90 cents to like $1.50. So I love that. I'm trying not to put my elbows on the table because it shakes the camera, but it's hard not to. My average selling price was $20.93, which isn't too bad. Of course, I would like to get that up, but with my average cost of goods being $1.07 per item, I mean, I don't think that's too bad. Okay, and then I hate this, but it is what it is. My total Poshmark fees. So what I paid Poshmark in fees, they take 20% if the item is over $15. So they took $1,231. So I paid Poshmark $1,200 this year. Now, I know there are other platforms that I could sell on. Poshmark is just the easiest to resell on. And for being somebody who just does this part-time, I mean, I don't really have time to, you know, cross-list. I know there are easy ways to do it, but I just don't have time to, you know, deal with other platforms with where I'm at right now. Maybe one day, but still seeing that number, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm paying them a lot of money. But if it wasn't for them, then I wouldn't have any of this. My average, I guess I should have said this before, but my average profit per item was $13.01. So even though my average selling price was $20.93, after taxes, fees, like Poshmark fees and shipping discounts, it's comes down to $13.01. So this is a really interesting one. This is my average number of days to sell an item, and it was 103 days, which really isn't all that bad. It kind of sounds like a lot, but I mean, that's like a little over 3 months. And I'm the type of person where I don't really like take out old inventory and like donate it. I know a lot of people do that. Maybe I should, I don't know. I normally just let things sit. I just keep things forever, and then honestly, I swear everything sells eventually. That's just how I feel about it. I have had things where I see it in my closet and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of looking at that. I've had it for like 2.5 years, and the next week it'll sell. That has happened so many times where I think of an item and then it sells. So I don't like to give up on things. There's somebody out there who wants it, they just haven't found it yet. But that's just how I feel. You do what you want. Okay, this was wild to me. I was not expecting this at all, like at all. So on my spreadsheet this whole year, I kept track of what day of the week an item sold. So whatever day of the week it was, I typed that day of the week out for every single item just so I could get these numbers because I was curious. So my best selling day, I still don't believe this, but that's what it said. My best selling day was Monday. What? I sold 52 items on Mondays. My number 2 best-selling day was Sunday, which makes a little sense to me. That was 51 items, so very close to Monday, just one off. And then third was Friday with 50 items, also just one off. And then tied after that was Saturday and Tuesday at 42 items. Then Wednesday was 35, and my worst selling day was Thursday with 30 items. I just was not expecting Monday to be a best-selling day. And what's crazy is sometimes I'll send out like bigger offers on it's normally a Friday, sometimes Saturday, but normally Friday, which I guess Friday was 3rd and Saturday was 4th. But sometimes if I just feel like I haven't made a lot of sales, I'll send out 30% offers with $4.99 shipping on Fridays, just because I have Fridays off work. And yeah, but Monday, people are buying on Monday. I would love to know, has anyone else like kept track of this? Does anyone else sell really well on Mondays also? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to know how other people do. And yeah, it's interesting. Thursday was my least selling day, and I work longer hours on Thursdays. So I'm wondering if that's just because I am like not getting to, you know, people who've liked my items as fast on Thursdays. If I'm not as like active on Poshmark on Thursdays, or if that has nothing to do with me. But yeah, so interesting. Okay, and then here's another fun thing I kept track of all year. So I kept track of each state that I sold in, which I have a fun little sheet. Let me grab it real quick. Nobody probably cares. I just think this is fun. So I have this sheet, and whenever I sell to a state, I cross off the states. I still have states to sell to, and I've been doing this for, I mean, you know, only part-time, but I've been doing this since the end of 2019. Now, I didn't start keeping track of the states until probably 2020, but still, it's been probably 2.5 years that I've been doing this, and there's still 4 states I haven't sold to. And it kind of surprises me what states. Like, I would expect like Rhode Island or Alaska, I don't know, like to not sell to. But my 4 states I'm missing are Delaware, Mississippi. Do they not have Poshmark in Mississippi? North Dakota, which, like, okay. And then West Virginia. Like, what? West Virginia? That was just really surprising to me. So still working on those. But I kept track of, you know, what states I sold to. So my most selling states, my most sold to state was California, which I assumed that would be the case. I sold 31 orders to California. And then second was Florida with 19 sales. And third was tied for Texas and New York with 18 sales. So those numbers I pretty much expected. All right, and then my last stat. So this was something that Poshmark actually calculated for me. I didn't keep track of this. I didn't really care, but it's kind of cool to see. On Poshmark, if you go to, what is it, let me look it up. I think it's My Seller Tools. Yes, okay, so you go to, on Poshmark, go to the lower right where it has your username, and then go to My Closet Insights. And there's some really cool information on there if you haven't looked at that before. If you scroll down, it tells you your order insights. And so last year, 80% of my sales were from offers that I sent to likers, which I guess that, yeah, I pretty much expected that. I don't know, I could see it being like 90%, but 80 makes sense. And then 11% of my sales were buy now sales, which are my favorite. I think they're all of our favorites. So those are sales where the buyer just buys it. They don't like it, they don't care, they just buy it outright. Full price shipping, no discount. So 11%, that's higher than I thought it would be. And then 8% were bundle sales. Which, does it drive anyone else crazy? I feel like people make bundles all the time, constantly in my store. I'm sure this happens to other people, but just constantly making bundles, and then they don't buy it. Like, some people put like 8 things in their bundle, never buy it. Some just put like 2. Like, I constantly have people put 2 things in their bundle, and then it just sits there forever, even after I send them an offer. So yeah, 2022 was my best Poshmark year so far, but I am constantly trying to improve the things that I do. So So far this year has actually been pretty good. So hopefully we can beat 2022 this year. But I hope you guys enjoyed this just fun little video. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, please. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.